This is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. I had my Biodynamic Demeter inspection yesterday, and I also had at the same time my Real Organic Project certified inspection at the same time. It's a Real Organic Project is an add-on to the organic USDA organic certification, developed by rich organic farmers to combat lower price organic produce. I don't have any competition, even with all the mango growers in Florida, with our produce. I sell out. I have a 2-year waiting list, $10 a pound on our mangoes, because of the quality. So I don't think it's the competition you need to worry about. You need to improve what you're doing and evolve. But it was designed by rich farmers that mostly inherited their farms or have been in business for a long time, 30 years, that frankly do practices that I don't align with, like use plastics, grow in greenhouses, mow orchard floors, all that stuff, which I do not align with at all. And that's why I'm not going to be organic certified anymore. What I do align with is Demeter, Biodynamic Association certification in the USA. It's the original. This is the difference between the organic and the Demeter. Organic's for money, and Demeter was for pollution. It was created by Rudolf Steiner, and probably some other people were involved. I'm sure India was involved somewhere to come up with the BD 500 horn manure, the original indigenous microorganisms that work. They build soil to combat the pollution from the chemicals that was making people sick. But the problem with the organic is it's been written and rewritten to twist and change the rules by lawyers for rich farmers. So that's why we got to the place we are. So I can tell, I look and I can see, I listen, I hear and I can listen. And I sense and I can feel. And I think that's due to the super clean, super biodiverse vegan diet I eat. I don't think it's because I'm smarter than anybody else. And we started this farm 7 years ago almost. November it'll be 7 years, so a month away. 7 years. And to grow tropical fruit trees, Garcinia humilis. They're in the mangosteen family, the queen of fruits. Or the king of fruits. I don't know. What is it? The queen of fruits or the king of fruits? It's the queen of fruits. But we don't grow Garcinia mangostana, but we do grow 10 other types of Garcinia trees that have been shown to have human beneficial compounds in all their tissues. So fruit, leaf, root, stem, bark. You can go to the National Institute of Health and look up the Latin name of the Garcinia humilis and see the studies that have been done and the compounds that have been found in their tissue. I think 57% of vitamin C can be received in humans that consume the leaf tissue through teas. So that's what we grow. And I moved to Florida 12 years ago. I've had a house here for 15 years, and I fell in love with it. I never thought that was possible. And we have a house on the Indian River Lagoon, which was once the most biodiverse spot in North America, that I've watched go from a semi-clean lagoon to a fairly nasty, polluted, plastic-riddled, beer can strewn place that the manatees are now dying in mass numbers. The dolphins have lesions. Has a whole whole family of 900 dolphins that only stay in the Indian River Lagoon. They don't even go out into the ocean. They have lesions on them. It's from the pollution. And people don't like this lawn look, but it's because of this lawn that we've grown out that keeps the water from running off with all the nutrients that people use, and the pesticides and the bug killers, you name it. You know, people use it in Florida. They move here from other spots and don't understand that we need the bugs, and we need the grass, and we need the animals to make Florida Florida. It's a really unique spot. So this Real Organic Project Certified inspection, it was supposed to be an interview and a video. The guy calls up. This has been in the works for 5 months. They instigated it. They contacted me to become Real Organic Certified. He actually had the nerve to ask why I became Real Organic Certified, Real Organic Project Certified. I'm like, because they sent me gifts, and they had a real simple application, was like 6 questions, and I was certified. It's not really a certifying agency. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's developed by super rich people. I know that. That's what it is. It's designed with money, for money. And the inspections showed yesterday. So this guy calls 45 minutes before he's supposed to be here and tells me he's sick. He's from up north somewhere, not from Florida, and he wouldn't be here. I instantly thought he had the Florida flu, you know, too much drinking. That's just what flashed in my head. That's what I mean. I feel, I sense, and I feel. That's the type of stuff that just flashes in my mind when I hear stuff, or when I'm affected by other humans, either through visual or voice. And the same thing goes on looking at this orchard floor. So this orchard floor prevents runoff into the Indian River Lagoon and into Florida's waterways. All this pollution is killing the coral, it's killing the lagoon, it's killing the dolphins, it's killing the manatees. That's why I do these videos. I want to help Florida. I don't want to help some rich farmer somewhere dirt another organic farmer because they sell product cheaper. You have to improve your product, period. Competition is good, but you don't do add-on labels. We've got too many labels. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's insane. So that to help save you, you've anchored yourself to organic, which from what I can see is sinking. That's why we're Demeter. Demeter is the original agriculture certifying agency in the world, and it's respected around the world, even though it's not that well known here. That's why I wanted to do it. And the people are amazing. They feel and sense. So this guy calls back 15 minutes later after I sent him an email and says, I will not be renewing my Real Organic Project certification. Calls back and says, I'll be there. So he shows up And he's a young guy. And I get a lot of people that come to this farm from all over the world: Saudi Arabia, India, Costa Rica, England, and throughout the US. I get lots of people come here, and I get lots of people from Florida come here. And he's not from Florida. I don't think he's ever lived in Florida, but he seemed like he acted like he was the most knowledgeable tropical fruit grower that I could possibly meet. You can't fool me. Sorry. And you don't come on my farm and start telling me that lawns are good, or mowed areas and orchard floors are good. I've been married to a lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps for 27 years, basically. In the Marines and out of the Marines, retired. And I'll fight a bitch. So don't come onto my farm when you're supposed to ask me questions and tell me that mowed lawn is as good as this. Because I instantly think you're stupid. Or young. He was young, so I don't think he's stupid. I don't know. I've never had that experience here before, except the last time I had an organic certifier here, which was a horrifying experience, and I got the same attitude from them. They told me that, oh, we have a tropical fruit farm, organic tropical fruit farm too, in Port St. Lucie. Right at the beginning, just very nonchalant, like they had no interest in what we do here because they know. I'm like, okay. So after 4 hours, and I kept asking him questions, eventually it turns out it was his sister's organic farm, his sister and her husband, and they don't do tropical fruit anymore because it failed. I mean, this is the type of crap I have to put up with from people that are being paid to come here to inspect me. They're disinterested. The Biodynamic, on the other hand, was amazed. And I could feel it. And she showed. It was the best inspection I ever had. I don't know, I felt like I have known this person before. When I saw them drive up, just seeing the face, I'm like, do I know her? That's how it felt. So this guy's arguing with me right in front of the Biodynamic inspector during the inspection. I had to tell him he could leave. Please leave. There's no argument to be had from me. This is being done for a reason. We want to try to help Florida. There's only like 7 years of, I have to go over that Kwai Muk tree because there's a ripe fruit on it. There's only 7 years of fresh water in most of coastal Florida left. And it's probably gonna no fresh water. A saltwater intrusion and pollution. That's what it is. And it could be stopped. It could be stopped if everyone just stopped mowing half their lawn. I'm positive that could fix it. Or at least slow it down. But I get the response, I can't live without a lawn. I just can't get past the weeds. Well, something other than you lives in the weeds, and we need that something else in order to have clean water. So that's why I do the videos. So we do everything the same way. We make biodynamic compost. I believe in biodynamics. I'm gonna start pushing for people to do biodynamic farms. I think I can do it. Part of the reasons why I changed my mind on staying biodynamic is because of the people I met that were interested in biodynamics. They're the people I like the best. So here's a fruit That's what they look like when they're ripe. There's an unripe one and a ripe one. Yeah, I thought I saw this one. I was hoping it would be ripe for the Biodynamic inspector and the Real Organic Project inspector yesterday, but it wasn't. But it's ripe today. So yes, from people that are interested in biodynamics that come here. So I've had like, there's the fruit. It's definitely ripe. I've had like only 5 people reach out to me that were biodynamic people. One in Port St. Lucie, one from Costa Rica, that lives in Miami now. Here's the fruit. It's my favorite fruit. Yum, yum. Eat the whole thing. You just take that core out like a mango would have, or not a mango, but a jackfruit, you know, the stem that goes all through it, like an annona. And after you eat it, and there's seeds in it. Oh my God. This fruit is beyond compare. It gives, my whole body gets chills sucking the juice out of the delicious fruit. You eat it skin and all. It's I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just, it's like, I don't know, there's something, it's my favorite fruit. It is hands down my favorite fruit. 2 years in a row. And I get a lot of fruit. It has this tiny little seed in it that is probably, I don't know if it's any good. The seeds in this fruit sell for $5 each. I'm giving all my seeds away to people that went through Hurricane Ian that I have to give away. So I'm not sending anybody else seeds. Maybe there's a couple I want to send. A guy in LA that asked a long time ago, Virginia fruit grower. I probably am not going to be able to get to send you seeds up to Virginia or fruit. It's just, it trickles in one at a time, and it's like they don't last. They're not really shipping fruit or eating fruit. God, that's good. Oh my God. All you have to do is squeeze it with your tongue. It's that good. You want to enjoy every drop. I would grow a whole monocrop of those. Thank you, Kwai Muk. Beautiful tree. So yeah, it was interesting. The guy didn't leave after I told him he could leave. Don't argue with me, just leave. The biodynamic people that have come by here kind of helped sway my mind, just because I found them so compelling, I guess is what it is, the word. So thank you. One of them was from California, Laguna Beach, my favorite spot in the world. I was born in Newport Beach, so I don't know, but Laguna Beach is like my favorite spot in the world. And they moved from Laguna Beach to Venice in June, I think, and went through Hurricane Ian. I guess they're okay. Just lost some big trees. What a welcome to Florida, but at least their house didn't flood, right? I'm so glad they're safe. So I tried to talk them into putting in lawn, or not lawn, to let their lawn grow out. And she said her parents couldn't live without the lawn, but they had lots of trees tip over. I'm not saying that this is what happened at your place, but trees that tip over at our place usually happen on fill that's compacted or on compacted areas. They usually snap before they fall over, unless it's a compacted area. Mowing the lawn compacts it. So just something to think about when you're like discussing with your parents about, should we have less lawn? Yes, everyone needs to put in 50% less lawn. It doesn't have to look like weeds. It could look like this or like this, but something other than compacted lawn, something that you're not walking on that's compacted, so that the water can be held, because carbon holds water. So when you have a lawn, there's not much carbon there. A little 2 inches of roots and in a cement. He just didn't, I mean, somebody that comes here and tries to argue with me about my knowledge of growing tropical fruit trees in Florida is just really, really nervy. And I just could not believe it. And I couldn't believe it that we're doing it in front of the biodynamic inspector. I can be pretty mean too with my tongue. I lived in LA during the 80s. I worked at Universal Studios Hollywood, not the tours. It was you had to be on top of it or they'd eat you up. My sister's a judge in California, so I don't know. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but yeah, don't come here and try to pretend. I could tell that they were happy when I was showing the biodynamic, the Real Organic Project inspector was happy. He was standing right behind me, but I was down showing the area where they sprayed glyphosate like 20 feet from our mangoes, and talking about how mangoes won't produce fruit and everything. And I kind of glanced back and I see he was smiling. I sense and feel you, dude. You're not welcome back. I will not be Real Organic Project certified ever again. I know they think they're trying to do the right thing, but if you're trying, I mean, this is what's wrong with it. He didn't like me saying that the lawns between Real Organic Project certified farms that they have between blueberry rows was bad for Florida. But yet their whole Real Organic Project certified add-on label to the organic is based on pointing out other farms' insuperiorities. So if you can't take it, why did you start it? I can put things together. It's not that hard to see what's going on if you eat right. This biodynamic inspector, I didn't grow up with Waldorf schools. That's the school started by Rudolf Steiner from the Demeter Association. He started the biodynamics, and they're really good schools. If I had children, that's where I would send them if I could afford it. But the Demeter people are just so nice. And the whole purpose of biodynamics is to grow food as close to natural as possible. And that's kind of how this system came about. And you may think it's some system that I developed on my own. It's not. It's a system that's been around since the beginning. It's how nature does it. We just mimic each other. Bad habits. We don't mimic nature. We mimic other industrial farmers, whether they are organic or not. Anyway, it was a big experience for me, and I really want to push people towards biodynamics because there's this huge wave of regenerative farms, and people are buying up like inputs that people make for Korean natural farming. Really, you should make your own compost. Everyone needs to make their own compost. Everyone needs to make compost. If you can. Not everyone can. So they buy Korean natural farming like IMO or stuff. The original IMO is the horn manure. Your farm is only as good as your best input. I believe the best input in the world is from Zebu Desi cows. I think ours are Panguric cows from India originally, but they call them miniature Zebu here in the USA. But they're an indigenous cow of India, mostly. I think they may have bred a few miniature breeds, but they're the only true miniature breed. They have a better, higher rate of bacteria and stuff in their manure. And I know as soon as I started applying it, we started getting all these rare tropical fruit trees that people have so much trouble fruiting in 5 years. 7 different types of garcinias, 2 different types of Kwai Muk. I don't want to be a braggart, but I kind of have to be, because otherwise I would get gaslit. Gaslit by people that are jealous, I think, is where it comes from. That's what I see. So they got that wire all trimmed by FPL. This is what I mean about people hear but they don't listen. And I was telling them they wanted to trim the trees on the neighbor's property, but they wanted to drive through my farm, through from the east side to the west side, all across my farm to get to the neighbor's trees on the other side of the canal. So they came here at 3 o'clock, like 2 days before my inspection, with all these army of trucks and all these people, and they sent person after person after person until 10 o'clock at night. I finally got the final FPL person. You don't want the people in back to have power? And I'm like, I'm going to tell this one more time, and then I'm going to ask you to leave. There is a road on the neighbor's property that goes to the trees that you are trying to trim. You cannot drive across my property east to west to get to the neighbor's property. And then all of a sudden someone started screaming from the road on 12th Street, "We know how to get in there now. There's a road." Yeah, there's a road that drives right to the trees. But they didn't hear me. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with people. I think it's the food. And I think if you're facing competition from other growers, that you probably need to do something, not create more rules to prove that you're superior, your food is superior, so that you could charge higher prices. That's crazy. The quality of your food will dictate, and who you are will dictate the price of the food and whether you can sell it or not. Anyway, I just had to share that. I'm sure some of you like it. Some of you probably hate it. Anyway, I don't care. It's Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. Have a beautiful day. Florida Natural Farming.